Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Somos Mas, the official podcast of Somos Mas NM, and your source for the latest news and notes on New Mexico United and the New Mexico Runners. My name, of course, is Seth Bidoff, and joining me tonight, the man who apparently has the world's worst farmer's tan, Jacob Terrell.
Yeah, I hit it though before the cameras came on.
I noticed that. I noticed that while the intro was playing, you threw on your some team kit there. I don't know who that is. To cover up your farmer's tan, you took off the headband. I had made the joke that asking if you had joined Cobra Kai, but it apparently fell flat.
Yeah, no, fell on deaf ears, as they would say. I don't know who they are, but they would say it.
Yes, yeah, whoever they is, they have a big say in the way that things go, right?
Very much so.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It is Tuesday night. We do have it's just the two of us tonight. Earl is not with us. He let us know a little while ago that he would not be joining us this evening. So no Earl. You do just get Jacob and myself, but we do still get the same groundbreaking commentary that you get every other week, that you don't get anywhere else here in the state of New Mexico. So we've got a lot to get to. It's been a busy week for New Mexico United. We've got some team news and notes. We've got some scores to talk about, and we do have the match next weekend against Orange County to look ahead to as well. So, and we're just going to jump right into it. I mean, we've got it's a lot to get to. We'll start with the news and notes from around the team. First of all,
no question.
No, not tonight. We're just going to get right into it.
I feel like you just don't want to hear my answer to questions. You just want to hear Earl's. But okay.
No. I just figured no question. I would just get right into it. You know, we've got a good show. We got a lot to get to. So yeah, first thing, I hate turf, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But national team call-ups, Radio Vuca and Carl Sainty have both been called up for some June matches for their respective nations. So congratulations to those guys. We know Nico Brett was just gone this past weekend, and okay, my book fell. Nico Brett was gone this past week with Reggae Boys. He did see some playtime on Tuesday night or Wednesday night, I should say. So he didn't have too much to do. I believe the Reggae Boys did win.
Oh no, they did.
No,
not.
They didn't. I didn't even see the final score.
They got their asses handed to them.
Because when I tried looking up the Reggae Boys schedule, and YouTube, Yahoo or Google or whoever did not want to show the friendly this week for whatever reason.
I just saw it on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
On the Reggae Boys Twitter.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see the final, so I didn't see what happened there. So, I mean, it's good to see some guys getting some national team experience. Certainly glad to see that. Nico Brett was back over the weekend. Did play against Indy 11. So, glad to see some guys getting time, getting call-ups, and hopefully it continues to help them improve their game. So, that happened. We also had Justin Portillo named USL Championship Player of the Week. Yes. Now, I did want to ask you about this. Now, yes, Justin had 3 goals and an assist. 2 of those goals, however, were penalty kicks against a depleted Phoenix Rising side. Did this really warrant Player of the Week nod? And I kind of feel bad asking that because it's an honor to be named that. But was there not someone more deserving than what Justin did?
When you score 3 goals and have 2 assists in 2 games, regardless of circumstances, I think the USL, a lot of the times I think the USL goes to the stat page for the week, goes, oh, look at this, 3 and 2. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's impressive. Against Phoenix? Wow. They don't pay attention to shit sometimes, I think. And then also, I think with Justin, his play, I kind of called him out the first, 2 matches. Mm-hmm. He had several turnovers that I thought were not quite to the 3-letter name that we do not say on here, but getting there, and he has turned it around in a big way since then and has been exceptional for basically 9 matches now. And so I think it kind of might be a little bit of a, hey, you've scored these goals. This is probably the only time we even have an excuse to give you an award like this. Because let's be honest, it goes to goal scorers. He does deserve goal of the month. Tito, if that's you, I agree. And Tito, rocking the LAFC, which Seth did not acknowledge. So call him out on that. But no, I think it's like, okay, well, he's played really well all season. He's probably not going to have another week like this. He had the best statistical week of people out there. Let's go ahead and give it to him.
Yeah, I mean that very well could be it, and wrong one. There you go. Could be. I just and while we can celebrate 3 goals, I just feel like maybe it wasn't the best week to do that. But like you said, they probably just look at the stats page, say who had good performances this week. But the thing is, they even acknowledge the fact that it was against a depleted Phoenix Rising side. So
and
I don't know.
I mean, they were penalties anyways. I think penalties, even if they're against a full Phoenix squad, probably brings it down a notch to me. I don't think they should be awarded in Golden Boot races. If you score a penalty, I don't think.
Well, I mean, a goal is a goal, so
it is, but it isn't. I mean, take the Premier League Golden Boot race this year. What Son did for Tottenham was way more impressive to me than what Salah did, because I need to look at the stats. I have not done that. I will admit, but I know that Son's 23 goals were 0 penalties.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Salah took penalties for Liverpool if he was out there. So it's just and I still think that whoever earns the penalty should kick the penalty. If that's the case, I give them full credit.
Yeah.
You earned it. You took the shot. Good for you. You get the goal. But if Sadio Mane drives through 3 defenders, dribbles through 3 defenders, and then gets taken down at the last minute, and then Mo Salah comes up and gets the penalty and gets the goal on the stat sheet, it just feels weird to me.
Yeah, it does kind of, and there are times where it does feel like that kind of does pad, like you said, the Golden Boot race, things like that. I mean, we saw it with Kevon first season. Kevon was getting all the penalty takes, and unfortunately, he was converting most of them. But yeah, it does kind of pad that a little bit. I mean, but obviously, clubs are going to have guys who are better from the spot than others. But I still think it was an interesting decision on Tuesday night to have Justin take those compared to some other guys. And I didn't get a chance to ask Zach about that, but I would have.
Well, Nico wasn't there.
Yeah.
He had been playing better, but the last penalty we saw him was bad. That penalty miss led it to be, I think he's like 50% on penalties now in his career, which is terrible. So you take those 2 out of the equation, one for not being there, one for being bad at it. And maybe Harry? I don't know. It's kind of a crapshoot at that point. Dev wasn't out there at the time. It was...
Give it to Nava.
Me and Earl were talking about that at the game, and we were like, I was like, no, I don't want Nava to take a penalty. I don't want his first goal to be a penalty. No.
Why not?
Because I was even bummed that a little bit bummed. I was very excited in the moment. Looking back, I wish it would have been against a team that wasn't going to preach about having an asterisk next to the whole shit show of a game that it was. But it was beautiful. I mean, it was a beautiful pass from who was it from? Tete?
Yeah, it might have been. I was just watching it earlier too.
I had it until I said it was a beautiful pass from, and then it just went.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, congratulations to Justin. Great, again, a great honor. It just feels weird getting it on the back of the way the last week played out.
Well, okay, so if you factor in the shot that he hit in Indy, I mean, goal of the month from Tito over there. And then just his overall play. I mean, Yes, it was against a depleted Phoenix team, but he killed that team.
Yeah.
That midfield was responsible for most of how that game turned out, and he was the driving force there, him and Nava. And then the Indy match, the good moments we had started in the midfield, which he was a part of, and that goal alone was fantastic. So if you take away the 2 goals and the 2 assists in the Phoenix match and just look at how he commanded the pitch in 2 games, plus the banger that he had in Indy, I'd have to look and see what other people did, but there is a world where that's worthy of Player of the Week, anyways.
Yeah, yeah. I guess you could say that, but yeah. It's just I don't know. It's just kind of a weird thing. So yeah, I mean, congratulations to him, and I think he got goal of the week, correct?
I don't think the results have come out. I think he was
Okay,
nominated.
I know he's nominated.
They usually don't come out till Thursday.
Yeah, that's right. So that's up. If you haven't voted yet, go vote and vote often. Justin deserves it. It's the best goal I saw of the weekend. So, and again, like Tito said, could be goal of the month. I really haven't seen too many others that even like looking at last week's was weird. There weren't a lot of like spectacular goals from the week before. So, yeah, moving right along. The U23s finally in action. We have a roster. We have a whole bunch of names announced, and they played 2 matches so far on their season. They obviously opened down at Mesa del Sol, and then they played at the Cielo Grande Soccer Complex this past weekend. They opened up the season with a 2-2 draw against crap. I had it and I lost it.
CISA.
Yeah, CISA. That's right. 2-2 draw there. Then they finished out in the weekend.
Don't ask me what CISA stands for, though.
I was trying to figure that out. It's not on the USL Championship website. Bothers me. And then finished off the weekend with a 3-2 loss to Flatirons Rush. Actually, the United came back from being down 2-0 in that match to tie it up to lose in the closing minutes. So an interesting open to the season for them. They're obviously playing. They're playing well.
They were leading 2-0 in the first match.
Yeah,
and then gave up.
CISA, yeah. CISA came back in that one. And interesting to note that they had only been playing for about a week together prior to the opening match of the season. So interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens here in the coming weeks. Earl, there you go. Earl is alive. He's over in the chat. Glad you're alive. Didn't think you would be, but okay. Yeah, so New Mexico U23's next match is on Thursday, June 9th. They're playing at Salt City. I believe that's correct.
I think so.
Or no, that because that one's up in Santa Fe, right?
I can't keep track of everything, my friend.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of the League 2 website at all.
I mean, are you a fan of any USL website?
Not particularly.
Exactly.
Okay, so the U23 schedule, New Mexico United U23s versus Salt City at Capitol High School Thursday, June 9th, 7 o'clock in Santa Fe. They followed that up with a weekend match in Taos on Saturday, June 11th. Again, against Salt City. So I'm going to make at least one of those, if not both of them. So it'll be interesting to see the U23s in action. Hopefully I'll get a chance to talk to Coach Luke Sanford after those. In fact, I'm going to reach out to David about something. I want to see if we can do something for these. So I am. And I'll tell you about it off there. But I'm going to reach out to David, see if we can set something up for these 2 matches. And just kind of throw something out there, see if it sticks. But if you haven't seen them, get out, support them. Santa Fe and Taos next week should be a lot of fun. The U23s have a ton of talent, a bunch of guys that came through the academy, all performing well at the collegiate level at this point. Earl, if you were here, we'd have the conversation, but you're not here. So that's all the news and notes I had for this week in terms of New Mexico United. And so, yeah, I guess we'll just jump right into the Indy 11 match. I mean, First time
Yeah.
the Mexico United and Indy 11 have faced off against each other ever in the club's history. Obviously, not the first time that Mark Lowry has been involved against the Mexico United. United did go up and pick up a 2-1 win on the road. Congratulations to both Jacob and myself for correctly predicting the scoreline for Saturday evening. The goals.
I did.
Yes.
Nice.
You forgot about that, didn't you?
Completely.
Yeah, because you gave me crap when we were recording after the Phoenix match, saying I copied your scoreline, but
And you did.
Yes, I chose the same scoreline. I'm not copying you. How about that? We both got there using different means of thought. Secrets don't make friends, Earl. You should know by now that secrets are what make good friends. But yeah, like I just want to jump right into this. My wife told me to stop acting like a flamingo, so I put my foot down. I don't even know what that means.
Do we ever know what anything Earl says means?
Most likely not. Earl, I gotta say, Earl, I am disappointed. Before we get into this too far, I want to say, Earl, I'm disappointed that you're not here because I wanted to ask you about Hell in a Cell for this weekend, but you're not here, so we're not going to talk about it. So you missed out, buddy. Google a flamingo. If it's anything like an upside down pineapple, no, thank you.
Do you not get the joke?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Stop acting like a flamingo. Flamingo stands on one leg, so he put his foot down. Put his foot down as in. Never mind.
Okay. All righty then. Earl's humor apparently went over my head tonight, which is unusual.
It's Earl humor. So, do you have a sick kiddo there?
Yeah. So I wasn't I was gone over the weekend. My sister got married. So my boys were supposed to go out there with me. Logan couldn't go because he got sick Friday morning. He woke up about 1:30 in the morning Friday morning, throwing up. Ended up not going with me. And so it would have been like my holiday with the boys. Didn't get to see him at all. And so Aaron asked if I wanted him to come over today. I said, yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yeah. So he's here. He's in bed. He's going to be with me for until Tuesday. Nice. So yeah, it was kind of a last minute thing, but yeah, he's here. He's really not even sick. Like it's just allergies. Like it's with all the smoke and everything. And like, we need rain. We really need some rain. Like it's terrible, but yeah, I mean, yeah, Saturday night, Indy 11, 2-1 to Mexico United. And I kind of wanted to get into this from a couple of different perspectives. The first thing that I wanted to ask you about was when I saw the team sheet, I didn't get to watch it live. I watched it.
Can I read the text by chance?
Yes.
Will you allow me to?
Sure. Why
okay.
not?
Let me,
Okay, Earl, have a good night, man.
Oh, where'd he go?
You deleted the group chat. How dare you?
No way. Okay. So I couldn't watch it live either. I was working. So I got off work at 4. I got home. I kicked it on. I watched it. You guys were texting like crazy during the game, but not about the game.
Yeah.
Apparently, because I didn't realize that until afterwards. And so I get on there, 6:40 p.m. Thank you guys for not texting about the match. I just finished it, and I thought for sure Indy was going to tie it there at the end. A direct text from Seth. Me beer, period. No football, period. Mexico beating Nigeria.
Yes, exactly. I was in a Mexican restaurant with my family. We were all sitting at literally 30 members of my family. We're all sitting down, eating dinner. I played at 18 holes with a bunch of my family, with my sister's now husband, and I had a number of beers while playing, had a number of beers while at dinner, and I was having
plural. Isn't the plural of beer?
Probably.
Beer.
I think so. A number of beer. No, this beers.
I was joking, damn it.
anyway, I'd had a number of drinks. On the TV was Mexico versus Nigeria. So I was watching that, and I was having a discussion with our waiter about Tata Martino.
I like how you said there were how many members of your family there?
Probably around 30.
And you were talking to the waiter
Yes.
about a former Atlanta United coach.
Yes. Because Mexico was playing.
Instead of your family.
Well, I've been having a number of conversations with my family, but none of them were paying attention to the football on the screen. So yeah, he and I were having a discussion about Tata because of how Mexico has played this year. Obviously, Mexico has not had the results that most El Tribe fans supporters would have liked. So we were having a discussion about Tata, and I was fairly well buzzed at that point. So yes,
I would have liked to have heard this conversation.
It was actually really interesting to hear from someone who was like a genuine supporter of El Tri, because talking to him, he was saying that Tata is a really good coach, but not at a national team level. Like he really felt like Tata should be out, and should be coaching a club somewhere and not a national team. So I mean, I couldn't disagree with him,
Right.
But yeah, that was an interesting conversation to have with him. So
interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was I didn't watch it at all. And then I know the conversation continued after that. I don't remember exactly what was said. Like my phone's over there, but
our conversation?
Yeah, our conversation.
Basically you telling us that you had a long discussion about with your waiter, and then me asking if you had the kids.
Yes, and this is where I said something, and then Earl's response, like, and I responded to him, like, because I thought he was, like, I was trying to make a joke off of what Earl said, and he just completely missed it.
I think I might have missed it too.
Yeah, because it was something about he didn't know how he felt about the second part or something.
I was stressed at the end.
Yeah, he was stressed at the end.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then I responded with trying to make a joke off of that, and he just like,
that was definitely a buzzed / drunk joke, though, because like I understood what you meant by it.
Yeah,
and I just didn't laugh.
Yeah, no, I get it. So, but no, it was a great weekend. Spending time with my family, I enjoyed it. I flew back into town last night. So, but yeah, no, my sister's married. She's on her honeymoon now. So congratulations. They will never ever hear this, but congratulations to my sister and her new husband. Hopefully they have many, many years of wedding bliss, and I hope you get your damn dog trained.
You just said she's never going to hear this.
Yes, exactly.
And then you're staring into my soul like it's my fault.
No, I just, their dog is a mess, dude. Like, they're supposed, so the dog is staying with my parents, and my sister and her husband had set up a training thing for the dog where they're actually going to send her away for like 2 weeks, but they didn't do it while they were out of town. Yeah. So my parents are like, this dog is going to be the death of us.
Good time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So Indy 11.
Indy 11. Yeah. I know. We're kind of all over the place. 2-1. The one thing that so like I said, I didn't watch it live. I saw the team sheet afterwards, and it didn't really register until I was watching the match start. Sam Hamilton was named the team captain on Saturday. Did that take you by surprise? Like, did you feel like Sam had done something recently to warrant being given the armband? Like, because to me, I feel like it should be Kalen when he's out there.
Well, so him, Sam, Kalen, and Suggs were announced as the 3 captains at the beginning of the year.
Right.
So I kind of took it as Kalen missed time, and I don't think Kalen's been the captain since he came back.
Yeah, I don't think he has.
So I think Sam just kind of took over that role when Josh and Kalen were out, and has done a good job. I think probably. I mean, we don't see everything that the captain does, all the little conversations that he has with the ref during the match
Right.
and everything. But and I like having it as Sam in the defensive midfield position as the captain. He has a little more access to the ref. He Ryden can see a little bit more, but I think I think Sam understands the game well enough, and he's a very cerebral player. And I really really like Sam from year one. I've had a couple conversations with him and have been very impressed by him. He's been to several of the press conferences, and I've always liked his answers and enjoyed him. And I just think he's very fitting to be the captain, and whether it's him or Kalen, or a number of other people, honestly, I wouldn't be upset.
Yeah, I was just curious what your thoughts on that were, because in our interactions with Sam, he's definitely not he's not the loudest guy out there. He's not the most outspoken guy.
He's
so
not,
it's kind of
on the pitch.
You can see that.
You can see him talking on the pitch, though.
Like,
it'll cut to him, and he'll run and get in the referee's face. Not Suggs like, where Suggs comes in like about it hell, but
yeah.
But he'll come in and he'll have a conversation and be a little more level-headed about it than Suggs would, and so yeah, I noticed it, but I didn't think anything of it. I feel like the three captains that we named at the beginning of the year, along with Dev, now that he's back, could be. Oh no.
It's a blackout.
It is. Okay. Is this mic working?
Yeah, you're working. I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's hooked up to the power. It's this stupid outlet. If you've ever lived in a trailer, specifically a later or older model trailer, the outlets are the most finicky things in the freaking universe.
Yeah.
And so if I even roll anywhere near this cord that has my power strip on it, and it moves like the tiniest little bit, it shuts off.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, it was just interesting to see, and then recognizing that, and then watching Sam's play, because Sam did not necessarily have a very good first half. I think it was there in about the 20th minute. Sam had a really bad back pass that led
not the worst of the day.
Not the worst of the day, no. But it led to an opportunity for Indy 11 where they put the ball off the crossbar. And so, like, Sam he kind of looked off, because there was that moment there. Then I think about 10 minutes later, where he just didn't really have a great opening, like 30 to 40 minutes of the match. And so, do you think there was something going on? Do you think it was an issue dealing with the press? Because now this is something we've seen in the past where United has, not necessarily this year, but United has struggled with that pass a little bit. In particular, Mark Lowry's press. So what do you think played into that, and where did you see from Sam after that to where he seemed to fix it?
See, you looked at the game entirely differently than I did. Like, I wasn't paying attention to Sam. It's just not something that was on my radar. I was paying attention to our back line and Nava, honestly. Nava's just very hard not to watch these days. And so that one, I mean, I think as a midfielder, as a defensive midfielder in particular, your mistakes are always going to stick out more than solid play, because you might have a good pass that leads to a goal. You might get an assist or a hockey assist, as we've talked about, but just winning possession, dealing with the pressure a little bit and spinning out of it or passing out of it, those things aren't going to get you noticed. Those things aren't going to be like, oh yeah, it's such a good game, unless you have somebody that's specifically keeping an eye on him. But knowing Sam, watching Sam for 3 seasons, and I say 3 because
Right,
He
right.
missed a substantial portion of one. He is that very cerebral player, and he knows if he makes mistakes, he's not going to make them again. He's going to figure out ways to get around that and to fix those and correct them and move forward. And so it it I I recognized the couple mistakes that he made, but it doesn't surprise me at all. And honestly, I would have been surprised if he would have kept making mistakes in that situation. Um, so I think I without sitting and watching the game, kind of keeping a closer eye on him, I can't tell you specifical. Wow, specifical. Okay, Jacob. I swear that's just T. I swear.
Okay.
Um, without naming or seeing any or knowing any specifical swear I swear that wasn't on purpose, specific tactical changes being made.
Objection, opinion.
Yeah, objection hearsay. um I would say that he just figured it out. He's smart enough and talented enough that he can make those adjustments in the middle of the game and not make the same mistakes over and over and over again, like some midfielders that we have seen in the past.
Yeah, and like you said, I do watch the match a little bit differently from you and Earl, and I only watched it one time because of my travel situations and whatnot. I only got a chance to watch it once, and so normally I go back and I watch a match 2 or 3 times to kind of get an idea of what I'm looking at. So I was just kind of jotting down some things that I saw. And I mean, Sergio didn't particularly have a great match either, and he kind of cleaned it up as well too. And you could see Sergio making some really good decisions, particularly late in the match. There was one in particular, a little just past the hour mark, where he drove down the left side and he got a chip. And I thought if he had gotten the touch on it just a little bit better, it could have fallen in behind Trilk, or gotten in behind. But Sergio was another one that kind of like morphed as the game went on. He started making better decisions and having better touches throughout the game.
Yeah, he did. I noticed that with him. Sergio's a mystery to me. There are times when I'm like, okay, yes, let's keep going, Sergio. And there's times where I feel like he either disappears or he sticks out in a not good way.
Mm-hmm.
Not like a terrible way. The effort's not there. The decision making isn't there. And you kind of saw both sides of Sergio in this match. There were some things in the first half that I wish he would have done a little differently or ran a little harder, because it looked like, from my opinion, he wasn't going full speed. But I'm just not there. I was never there with Sergio last year. I did not care for him being out there most of the time. And I think I was kind of warranted in that, because you did see his playing time kind of dip. Mm-hmm. At times he would be missing for a little while, and even more so at the beginning of this year. We did not see a lot of Sergio at the beginning of this year. Some of it was due to injury, but he didn't start there for a long time. In fact, I'm kind of wondering, he's now started 2 in a row for us on short weeks, and I'm kind of wondering why Preston didn't start this particular match against Indy. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it worked out. And honestly, he should have had. It wouldn't have shown up on the stat sheet, but he collected the ball. I think it was a through ball from the back line, and he collected it and drove on the right-hand side and had a shot that was parried away, and Nava was this close to putting it in. And I wonder if Nava is a little bit more experienced just in general. He realizes that if he makes that run, he realizes Rivas isn't going to pass him the ball. The opportunity is gone. He's not going to get it. If he instead of standing basically right next to the keeper. I mean, he was right there. If he doesn't take a couple steps back and to his left, basically, as he's facing the goalie, just to put himself in a position to where, I mean, if Rivas is going to shoot, it's not going to be soft. I mean, it's going to come into the keeper. It's going to come at the keeper with some pace. And if Nava's just a couple steps back, if his position is just a little bit different, he can collect that ball and put it in the back of the net. And we're not sweating the last 10 minutes of this match.
I think Trilk just got a little bit lucky on that one, to be honest with you. Like, because it was a reaction save, got the punch on it.
He did,
and I mean, Nava was right there, and he really wasn't that far.
I feel like Nava was too close. Is what I'm saying, though.
Well, no, I get that. I'm saying, he, and if he is a little bit farther back, but he's there, because the angle that Sergio shot from it wasn't necessarily like a more outfield. It was more of an angled shot almost, or more of a tight angle. And so on a shot like that, as fast as a save as Trilk had to make, he's not really going to be able to direct the ball all that well.
Right.
And if Sergio had just crossed that ball in, I mean, Nava's in the best possible position for that thing, So, I mean, I think that's more on Trilk getting lucky than Nava having a positioning thing,
Well, I think anytime you get a rebound goal, or in this case, a no goal, luck plays a very big part of it. But I've watched it a couple times, and to me, it was clearer. It was clear almost from the get-go that Rivas wasn't going to cross that. There were bodies in between him and Rivas, or Rivas and Nava. There just wasn't a clear lane there. The lane for him was to go for goal. And maybe I'm looking at it, maybe I'm wrong in how I'm looking at it, but I think of like a corner three in basketball. The odds of it coming from the side and then the rebound going straight where Nava was positioned isn't very likely. It's either right back to where the shot came from, or it's kind of like straight across.
Yeah.
Or at some kind of an angle. I feel like there was luck involved, and part of that luck was Nava being where he was, kind of straight on with the keeper instead of a couple spaces this way where he could have maybe made a better play on it. Either way, we got the win. It doesn't matter. And I'm really just speculating because I've never played soccer, except for when I was 5 and you just chase the ball. But in watching it, and we've seen several rebound goals from United over the last 3 years, and I've watched Harry Kane kind of make a living off of rebound goals, and I mean, obviously he's a very talented player, so I'm not just saying that, but I've seen him score plenty of those. And his positioning in that situation is always, if the attack's on the left, he's more to the right than where Nava was. And I feel like if Nava is just in a little different position, maybe we're talking about something else here, talking about a little bit different result, but it's still 3 points. 3 points is 3 points. It's a road win in Indy, who has not lost at home all year. It's a road win on a short week. Granted, it was a Tuesday instead of a Wednesday, and it was against that Phoenix team like we talked about, but it's still a short week. It's still a road win. And it's still 3 wins in a row, which is a big deal.
Yeah, it absolutely is. You mentioned a couple of different things in there. United is now, has gone undefeated in 5 consecutive matches now. Picked up a bunch of points. We're staring down the top 4 in the Western Conference. Things are going well for us right now. Despite Saturday not being as good of a performance as we've seen in recent weeks. I mean, we only had 4 shots. 2 of those were on target. Our conversion rate has jumped from like 9% to 16% this past week, which is a really good thing to see. Looking at And we'll talk about the goals here in just a second. Looking at how Indy pressed against United, particularly on their home field. How much of that do you think was the Mark Lowry effect, with how well that press did? Because you could see it at times, but United also seemed to be aware that it was coming, and then I'd say probably 60% of the time they were able to work out of that press.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's Lowry is a system coach. He's not a I'm going to see what players I have and coach my tactics to them. I'm going to get the players that I want that know my tactics and can play them. Hence why Mishek Jerome, Brian Rebion, who was injured this match, you see several names, either of people that played for him or played on teams that had a similar ideological thought process on the matches or on the way to the game is played. And Indy, I believe, was also on a 5-game unbeaten streak or something like that. They had been playing really good soccer. They had started off slow, but they had been playing really good soccer as of late. And I think you saw that team just has finally kind of all gotten on the same page with that press and started to really press as a team instead of as an individual. And when you see those things come together with the talent that Indy 11 has, it's going to be a tough game. And Mark Lowry, he's the one person in El Paso that I did not hate or do not hate. I don't hate Hutch yet because I don't know him, but I really liked Lowry and how he carried himself and the way that team played, even if I didn't care for the players that were on the pitch. And so, it was exactly what I expected. And United has played El Paso and Mark Lowry's El Paso teams fairly tough. You might look at the results and be a little discouraged because it's not a lot of wins, but it's a lot of cases where I thought we were going to see today where we have a lead and oops, 80th, 90th minute goal happens and we end up with a draw. And so I expected us to be able to play them fairly well. It was going to be tough going to Indy after playing Phoenix, even if it was a depleted Phoenix team, especially with the week that was. I mean, you talk about a short week under normal circumstances, it's tough enough. But to not know you're going to have a short week until Friday, basically. No, until when did they announce the reschedule? Sunday? Saturday night?
Yeah.
So on Saturday night, you're like, oh, okay, we're going to play Tuesday and then Saturday again. Okay, cool. Oh, we're not going to be able to play at Isotopes Park. We've got to play it at a place we've played a few times, obviously, but not a whole lot. And so it was just a weird week, and I just thought it was a very gutsy performance, and just kind of shows that you can say that it's not true, but I really truly believe that we have Mark Lowry's number. I just think we play him and his style very well and have kind of figured it out. Even if you look at some of the advanced metrics on this match, say that maybe we were lucky. I felt like it was a pretty even match all the way through. And they were just as lucky to get their goal as we were to get our first one. That Portillo blast that we talked about earlier was a thing of beauty. And then some nights, I mean, if you look at our first 11 games, several of them where we kicked the ass of Phoenix in particular in the XG battle and the advanced stats, but lost or drew on the actual scoreboard. And sometimes those things even out over the course of time. And the fact that it was against Mark Lowry's style of play doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. One more question. You mentioned the Justin Portillo goal. That goal obviously was set up by Chris Weehand. Again, another improved performance from Bees. I don't feel like he was like a standout of the match, but you could see him doing some things in this match that kind of make me feel a little more positive about his play and his development within Zach's system, because although he's playing a very similar role, like what he's actually being expected to do is different. And so you saw the cross early on. I think it was about the 14th minute. You saw the cross get sent in. Not exactly not exactly perfect placement, but it was a threatening cross, gave United a chance to get on the scoreboard early. And then you saw the pass back to Justin for the goal. And I think B set him up perfectly for that.
Yes.
So some really good moments there for United. You can really see things coming together. One thing I do want to point out about the match on Saturday, and I don't know if it's attributed to the press or not, but Nico Brett, although he made a turn, he wasn't really involved a whole lot. You could see him trying to get involved, and you could see him trying to make runs at times, like particularly in the second half. You could see him kind of trying to run down and like cut out to the left side of the pitch, but he wasn't getting any sort of service. Do you think that's more on Lowry's system, or just United taking what was given to them?
I mean, I think that's one and the same. I think Lowry's system. Nico's been one of our best players. He hasn't necessarily been standout. Oh my gosh, he's so good. Mm-hmm. Even with his goal scoring prowess that he has, he's just been consistent. And I mean, just match in and match out, he is going to give you the same things. He's going to give you goal scoring opportunities. If you give him the service, he's more than likely going to find the back of the net. He's just really, really good at doing little things that make a difference, as well as the goal scoring and stuff like that. I attributed it to Lowry taking away that a little bit, and then maybe a little bit of tired legs flying. I think the game was played in Jamaica, but I can't. I don't know that for sure. So it was a long week of travel for him. It's facing that press and having to run a little bit more and work a little bit harder to try to get the ball and help that back line get out of there. It just does a little bit more. It doesn't allow him to get in positions that he necessarily wants. He's got to go to the positions that will help his back line get the ball out. And so I just kind of contributed to that. And then Weehan finding his form. I don't think we're going to see Weehan of the second half last year, because I think the Weehan of the second half last year was strictly because of necessity. We just had nobody that could do anything offensively, creatively. And so it was go to work, Weehan. And this year in particular, we've got Nava doing wonderful things. We got Bruce and Harry bombing up the wings. We've got Nico Tabor, Nico Rivas, so-and-so. I mean, there's just a lot of other people that are involved in the attack and the creativity in the attack. And so he just has to find a little spot. And I feel like he's doing a really good job the last few matches, because even before the Phoenix match, he was coming around. Did he score in the game before the Phoenix match? What was the game before the Phoenix match?
It feels like forever ago, though.
It does. Feels like ages ago.
Before Phoenix, we had...
I got it right here.
Charleston.
Yes. So, did he score in the Charleston match? I cannot remember.
Yes.
Okay, so that was the first time he scored. So even the game before Charleston, then you saw some positive signs, and then it's just kind of gotten a little bit better, and I think him finding a groove, Nico coming back, Dev getting healthier, Moreno in the next month or so, maybe it's about the timeline that I think we had him on.
My guess would be Birmingham or maybe Monterey Bay at the soonest.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they hold him to RGV.
Yeah.
The home match against RGV. We have 2 home matches against RGV. We do, because that's one of our 10th games, or one of those 10 random games. Anyways, if we can get all those guys clicking, Moreno coming back kind of worries me, if I'm being completely honest. Because the front, the attacking players that we have, we've seen Nava start 3 in a row, 2 in a row,
3 in a row. Yeah.
3 in a row. All 3 wins, coincidentally. All 3 with 2 or more goals. Charleston was 2, was it not? All 3 with 2 or more goals. And so you're looking at an attacking core that has played very well together and is kind of coming around. And then you're going to introduce a guy coming off of a severe injury that takes a year to come back from, and then who knows how long to really get right, in game at match speed. So if by the time he's ready to come back, if we're really clicking and on a roll offensively, how much do we want to shake that up to get him in there? So that'll be an interesting thing to see, but it's a good problem to have if he can come back and be, I would say, pre El Salvador Armando Moreno.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be August before we really see him start to get any sort of significant minutes. Maybe 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. Prior to that, if that's the timeline as far as when he comes back, but I think it'd be at least August before we see like significant minutes for him, so that he does get that match fitness back. But we do know he is training with the first team now. So same thing for Dev. Dev obviously didn't feature in this match, but he did get some playing time against Phoenix Rising, and so. Zach talked to that, saying that he looked really good for about 15 minutes. And then you can see like kind of that fatigue because he hasn't played in 7, 8, 9 months. So, but yeah, it's, I felt like United played pretty well on Saturday, despite the stats not looking our way. We seemed to hold possession at times very well. Obviously, Indy had the mistake there at the back in the second half, where Michak just looked up, lost sight of the ball, and got past him. I don't blame the keeper for that. I blame Michak for doing that. That's on him. So unfortunate for Indy, but United was able to take advantage, and then the goal that they scored at the end of the match, the assist from Asante, really was a really pretty well worked goal. It was a nice cross. I felt like maybe Will was a step or two late getting there. But yeah, I mean, it was a well worked goal by them, and I'm glad to see that Asante didn't have too big of an impact on the outcome of the match.
Asante is still Asante, though.
Yeah,
in every way possible. Whatever the first thing that comes to your mind when I say Solomon Asante, he's still it. He is still a creator and an offensive threat. He is also still very freaking annoying in multiple ways. I loved the few flops that he had. I had a chuckle when who was it? I want to say it was Nava. Went down off of a Asante challenge, and Asante was like, "What? No, I didn't touch him. He went down too easy, basically." Yeah. And you're like, "Oh, so he was you." Okay. Yeah. And so I think that I was wondering if getting out of Phoenix would change my opinion of him at all, and no, it did not. He is still annoying, very talented, but very annoying. I'm not gonna lie, I was terrified a few times in that second half when he had the ball coming down that right side, much like the goal that we gave up. There was a couple other times where he was a little bit of free, or he was free in a little bit of space right there in similar situations. They weren't able to convert. Our back line, I thought, had a very, very good game and was in the right place at the right time the majority of those times. Aside from from the one goal where Seymour was just a step slow, like you mentioned. But I think that all in all, it was a very hard fought win. Um, we'll take the gift of a goal, and like I said, these things balance out. You had a gift of a goal, and then you've had some times where it's like a goal should have come out of something, and it just didn't. So we'll take it. We'll move on. We'll fly back to New Mexico and then go to Orange County on Saturday and try to make it forward.
Yeah, it's really trying to make it 4 wins in a row against a very tough Orange County side. Unbeaten in their past 5. Much like United, the issue with them is that they started significantly lower in the table than United did at the beginning of that run. So Orange County are currently sitting on 14 points. In their last 5 matches, they picked up wins against RGV and FC Tulsa, and then picked up draws against Oakland Roots, El Paso, and Atlanta United 2. Drawing with Oakland and Atlanta United 2 is not something I'd be terribly happy about if I was Orange County. However, a 5-1 win over FC Tulsa is something worth looking at. Obviously they did something right there, and then a win over RGV. RGV obviously one of the top clubs last season, and they've kind of fallen off a little bit here so far this year. But
they didn't have a roster until like 2 weeks before the season started. So
yeah, and the West is still very tight now, especially with some clubs picking up points. Monterey, Oakland, Orange County, they've all picked up points in recent matches, and so yeah, from 7th through 13th, there's only a difference of 4 points right now. So Orange County is a club that can be dangerous. We have already faced them once this year. That match ended in a 1-1 draw after a stoppage time goal from Eloski. That one was at the Lab. This one, of course, going to be out in Orange County. What are you looking for this weekend out of United?
Much of the same. The midfield has been very good for us lately. I think it's been kind of instrumental in our 3 wins. You mentioned Sam having a little bit of a rough start, but we were able to overcome that. And I just hope that what I'm really looking for is a clean sheet. That back line has, I think we've given up 8 goals now.
Yes, we are best in the league.
8 goals through 11 matches. I want that clean sheet. I want to keep that good defensive record going. And if we can keep a clean sheet, I feel pretty good about our chances going out there. We've played Orange County 3 times, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
We have drawn once and lost twice. Drawn twice, sorry, and lost once. And we were, if I remember correctly, we were up 2-0 in Orange County in 2019. And gave up 2 goals to end up splitting the points there. And so really hope that we can get out to a strong start and hold on, keep that clean sheet. And specifically from a tactical standpoint, I want that back line to be solid and it'd be interesting to see kind of what we end up doing there, because we've kind of moved to a 4 at the back the last couple matches and had Tete and Harry as members of the back line bombing up, which Tete obviously is back there a lot, but Harry's kind of been the wing back that has defensive responsibilities but is more of an attacker, and so it's just an interesting situation. Do you think we see more Dev? And follow up to that, well, kind of alongside that, what have your thoughts on Kiesewetter been? Side note, real quick, Kiesewetter is the one that gave Nava the assist. Kiesewetter got the assist on Nava's goal, I should say.
Okay. So as far as Dev goes, it's a week between matches. I think there'll be plenty of time for Nico to rest up. So I don't necessarily think we'll see a lot of Dev. At least probably not this week. Maybe, oh man, maybe next week or the week after once the club's back in town. We'll see Dev a little bit more because I mean, looking at the schedule, we've got Orange County, Oakland, RGV. I mean, Oakland and RGV are some opportunities I think to get Dev in there, get him some time. Again around 30 minutes maybe, give or take. But I don't see him this weekend against Orange County. I just don't feel like he's physically there yet.
Right.
And I think going forward, Dev is not going to be an every match guy. He may be on the bench, but I don't see Dev being that guy unless like we're in need of like maybe some hold up play up top. I think that's where he's really going to shine. That's where we talked about him before. Dev's hold up play is really good. I think that's where he really excels. See him in that 10 role, hold up the ball, create opportunities for guys like for Nava or Rivas or Nico or someone, as far as Kieswetter, he's shown the effort that I had hoped to see, but it hasn't really resulted in anything yet. At least not to the extent that I was hoping for. I like the way he plays. I think that he's got a veteran presence, and I think he can help some of the younger guys, even like Sergio and guys like them, understand their roles a little bit better. I think he's someone that Nava can really kind of latch onto, but not like overly impressed with how he's done. I think he's coming in and putting in minutes like when he's been needed.
And I asked these. One, I'm just curious about Dev because we didn't see him in Indy. He didn't find the pitch in Indy. I thought he looked good against Phoenix, although it was in the second half against Phoenix's academy players. I thought he looked aggressive, looked fit. And I personally would love to see him alongside Nico starting one of these matches. I agree. I don't think it'd be this one. I think he maybe wants a little more reps to kind of find his footing there. But then I asked Jerome because I was on board with the Jerome trade. I feel like it was your headache for ours, and we'll see if it works out in new places. I feel like he has performed good in the limited minutes that he's got. But at the Phoenix match, do you know Bill Simmons?
Oh yeah.
He refers to himself as the body language doctor. He would go to basketball games. He loved going to basketball games so he could watch the interactions on the bench and stuff like that. And I've always kind of looked at that kind of stuff too. And Jerome's body language after that Phoenix match concerned me. He didn't look upset, like mad. He looked sad. Like he was obviously happy with the result, and you saw him smiling several times. And then another thing that caught me was almost everybody, player-wise, had a wife, a girlfriend, a kid, a family member of some kind to go to. And Jerome was by himself a lot after the match. And with somebody who has had struggles the last couple seasons, kind of finding his form, if he really hasn't bought into the family mentality here, and I don't think the fans have kind of fully brought him in either because he hasn't really played a whole lot, I'm concerned that he might lose a little bit of that drive that he has shown. So long story short, I want him to start soon. I think the play has been solid enough that he could warrant a little more playing time. Maybe start him next to Nico. Maybe don't plan on playing him a whole 90. Just give him something see what he can do with it. If he's bad, then okay, he's bad. It happens. Uh, the trade might have just been our problem was Brian Brown. Now our problem is Jerome Kieswetter. It might just be he's just not at that level anymore. But from what I've seen, I think he can get there, and I think he's been solid so far. So I'm very curious to see what happens with our attacking options in this little run of games, because you mentioned the games that we have left. But so we have Orange County, and then we have a bit of a break, 9 days or 11 days. Sorry, we play again on a Saturday. No, where are we? We play again on the 15th, which is a week and a half after Orange County,
Mm-hmm.
and then we go a week to Wednesday, and then we go 3 days to Saturday, and then we've got a week away at Monterey Bay. So you got 3 games there in the span of a week, basically, or a week and a half. Maybe RGV at home on a Wednesday night. You get him in there, and you let him work, and maybe Dev and Nico get the start against Oakland. Maybe Kieswetter and Dev get the start against RGV. I want Nico in there every time, obviously, but I understand that that's not necessarily doable. But those are just some things that just stuck out at me the last couple games, the last week or so, that I just wanted to get your opinion on.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And Jerome's a guy that that I think can still make an impact. And you mentioned seeing him start alongside Nico. I think that would be a great pairing, because Jerome is one of those guys. He's got some really good hold up play. We actually saw it against Phoenix, and so I think that's another area where he can excel. Like, he's not going to be a guy. He's not necessarily going to burn a whole lot of guys with pace, but he's going to be able to hold that ball up. He's going to be able to turn and take those shots. Like, I feel like he can still make an impact. He just needs a little bit more time on the pitch to really make that impact.
Agreed. And I mean, you see some of the things that he could do. I mean, I was trying to figure out who the pass was for Nava's goal, and when I saw that it was from him, I remembered, because I almost went and asked him about it, and that pass was perfect. I mean, just inch perfect, and just cut the whole back line of Phoenix just out of the play completely. Didn't put it in a place where the keeper could make a play on it, and you see stuff like that, and it was from not quite midfield, but close to it anyways, and you see stuff like that, and I think of runs that Nava and Nico and Weehan can make ahead of Kieswetter on moments like that, where two of those guys are going to require a lot of attention. Maybe the third guy can slip in a little forgotten spot, and Jerome could and should be able to find him, and that excites me. And so I think of Jerome, Nava, Weehan, Dev, and Nico, and Preston, and Rivas to an extent. I mean, that's 7 names I just rattled off that up top could be very dangerous against any opponent out there.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that Kieswetter in particular, if he doesn't get a bone, so to speak, throw him a bone of getting a larger chunk of minutes, then we might lose that option because he might check out mentally. And so I just really want to see him get in there and get a little more opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it. And we've talked about it before. We've got a lot of guys. We really do, especially in those midfield and forward roles. And, you got Dev back, Amando's coming back, and we've got some guys that are still out with injury right now. I mean, Ilya's still out. So like
Yearwood,
Austin's out, Suggs is out. Yeah. Josh, I think, is still going to be probably another month, just from what I've heard. Obviously, we don't know exact timelines. We've never been given exact timelines by the club, but knowing the injury that he sustained, I would say another month before we see him come back. I mean, obviously you don't want to rush him back because because then injuries happen. You re-aggravate them. So,
well, and I don't think we're in a position where we have to rush anybody back
oh no, not at
necessarily
all. No.
at the moment, anyways. I mean, if Avuka got hurt or Tete got hurt or something like that, and maybe the injuries to Suggs and Yearwood is what changed us to a back four.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, but I think that with the depth that we have, you hold those guys out as long as they need. And we can have guys like Ratty and Bruce and Tete. Tete surprised me, but then also didn't surprise me with the way he kind of filled in for Yearwood in that four at the back system where he was bombing up. I mean, he's always been really good with the ball at his feet. He's always been a really good one-on-one defender, which is kind of what you need out there in that position that Yearwood and him have played in. We've never really seen Tete as a back or a right back or a left back in that 4-4-2 for whatever formation you want to call it. Just we've always seen him as the other center back in the first season and a half, really. And so watching him play more of an attacking style while still having to drop back and defend, he looked great doing it, I thought. And so you don't need Yearwood to be rushed back because you got Tete out there doing a very good job. You don't need to rush Suggs back because you got Bruce or Harry on the other side doing their best impersonation of him, which sometimes I think Harry is even a little more dynamic than Suggs has been the last year or so. And so it's a very good problem to have. And I think it sets us up well for the rest of the year if we keep stay in this little groove that we're in.
Yeah, no, definitely in a good place in terms of roster depth. Definitely in a good place in terms of talent as well. So there's a lot of positives that we've been taking away. I mean, really all season long, and here, seeing after going, basically, I mean, it's we've so really we've lost twice in 6 games or 8. 2, 4, 6, 7. We've lost twice in 7 games. Or 8 games. I'm sorry, I apologize. We've lost twice in 8 games, and people, it was funny because we're looking at it like, oh, we're winless in 5, or whatever it is. But now now here we are. You just flip that around, and it's like, okay, well now we're unbeaten in 5.
Right.
So yeah, it's, still there's been positives from every single match to take away from. And so, yeah, like you said, we're in a really good spot. I like what Zach is doing. And so, yeah, there's a lot of things to look forward to. So, scoreline predictions for Saturday.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm not sick. I feel fine, but I am gonna not predict a win.
Ooh,
and I'm actually gonna go 1-1.
1-1. Okay. All right. I mean, that's definitely something I could see happen. Obviously, we don't wish it to happen. Yeah, I mean, Orange County has been coming on. They're still not. They're still trying to figure things out. I feel like we have the better squad right now. We have better rotation. I feel like our guys are flowing a bit better and connecting a bit more. I'm gonna say 2-0 on the road.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. We've like reversed roles here. It's interesting.
Yeah, it is. I just, I always try to look at it objectively. I feel, we're playing well. We're taking advantage of opportunities. I feel like we need to create more opportunities than we did Saturday against Indy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I feel like Orange County is a club that we could go out there and do that with.
Yeah, and I think Indy, you saw the chance creation kind of disappear, but before that, I mean, even if you take out the Phoenix match, we've had a lot of chances this season. In fact, I think the Indy match was our lowest expected goals of the season by a semi-substantial margin, and I don't expect that to continue. I just
Right.
don't. I think that does turn around. I think that if I had to choose a scoreline to win by, I think it would be 2-1. I think we give up a goal to Orange County, and I think they have a little bit more confidence than the first time we played them. I think they have a little bit of confidence against us, us having not been able to beat them, even if it is 3 years ago that we played them the majority of the times, and so I I have faith in our team, and I think we are playing very well. It's more of a courtesy to playing on the road in Orange County that I say the 1-1 draw.
All right. It makes sense. I'm not going to argue with it. I'm not going to, say, oh, you're going to be wrong. I can't wait for you to be wrong. I'm not going to say any of that.
You're thinking it, though.
But no, I mean, it's hard no matter what league you're in. It's always hard to go and play on the road. And yeah, Orange County is a place that we haven't done particularly. We haven't finished matches well. But
we've only played there once.
Yeah.
And,
but we're a better club than we were in 2019.
Oh, by far,
and
especially
I feel like
defensively.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why I have faith. We're best in the league in goals conceded. We are we're tied for fourth in clean sheets. We've conceded very few fouls. We're like 50 fouls fewer than the top of the league. So, we're doing well. I think we're a lot more controlled, a lot more decisive in how we want to play. So I think all of those things are going to come into play in every single match for the rest of the season.
Fuck it, 2-1.
There you go.
I can't help but look back and I kind of was going through our schedule just a little bit in the games that we've played, and you look at, you start off against Vegas, look really good. Go to El Paso, look really good.
Mm-hmm.
Give up 2 late goals, one against Orange County, one against Oakland. If one or both of those wins stick, I think you're feeling a lot differently about the season so far.
Mm-hmm.
Not just because it would give us 2 extra points, but you look at the rough stretch that we had, and it was late goal against Orange County, late goal against Oakland, kick the crap out of Las Vegas Legends, which doesn't really count, lose to Phoenix 1-0 in league play in a game that we thoroughly outplayed them and just had a keeper stand on his head, lose in the third round of the Open Cup to Phoenix in a match that I wouldn't say we thoroughly outplayed them, but it was close. I feel like we outplayed them, just not. It wasn't like the Saturday match.
Yeah,
and then lose to San Antonio in a game that I felt like was even, if not, we were ahead there. And then you get into a 0-0 draw at Sacramento, okay result. Come from behind draw at San Diego. I'm happy with that, even though it was at home. Go to Charleston, get 2 points, destroy Phoenix's academy, which it's like the saying in basketball or any other sport, really. You play what's on the schedule, and a good team destroys that academy team. Had we gone in and won 2-0, I'm still happy about it, but we did what we should have done to that Phoenix team, and we destroyed them. And then we beat Indy on the road. I feel like we've been outplayed maybe twice all season, if that.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's been it's been very rare for us to not have a solid performance this season, and just seeing the way some people are on social media, like you said, if if some of those wins are different, or some of those outcomes are different, then yeah, we don't see anywhere near the level of disbelief,
Yeah, agreed. And I mean, I for one was one of the ones that wasn't freaking out calling for Prince's job already or anything like that, but I was worried that it felt like the same old United team, and so
Mm-hmm.
um and it feels weird. Like we talked about the match before Phoenix feels ages ago. The season just kind of feels like it's been really spread out, and it's hard to believe that those Phoenix matches in Phoenix were a month ago,
Mm-hmm.
or a little over a month ago, I guess. So it's just kind of strange there. And but no, thinking about it now and looking back and really coming to terms with the fact that we are a very good team, which I thought at the beginning of the year. And looking at the results and seeing like that, I'll change to 2-1, and I think that we have a pretty good chance of coming out of there with at least a point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, all right, I think that's gonna do it for this week. A lot of great conversation. Jacob, go and get us out of here.
Yeah, the game's at 7 on Saturday here.
It is. Yep.
That's interesting. I very much like that. Yeah, thanks. Kind of a quiet chat, except for Earl talking about flamingos, and Tito there for a brief second. But I appreciate everybody out there. Tune in next Tuesday. Hopefully, it's a full house again. Maybe we can find a guest to put on. In fact, you made a face, so we'll see. We'll see what
Maybe.
you have up your sleeve over there.
I thought we might have one tonight, but that's question number 2 I gotta ask David. So
okay. So I hope you guys tune in. We'll be better about putting out on social media that we're going to be recording, and I love being able to talk about a win. Baby, it's 3 points is really good no matter how it comes, even if it comes from Meshach Jerome brain fart. I will take it. So hopefully we can talk about some good goals next week and 3 more points at least, or at least 1 more, 3 more preferably. So until next week at 9, Somos News.